Cybersecurity is changing. Hackers are using AI now more than ever, and as blue team defenders, we need to keep up. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 ways that AI is reshaping cybersecurity and how you can use it to stay ahead of these hackers and the job market. Hi, my name's AJ. I've been in cybersecurity for the last 9 years, and on this channel, I teach all things cybersecurity for beginners. So let's get into it. Clear that hackers are using AI tools and chatbots for their attacks. As you can see here, this article from NBC News, hacker using AI to automate unprecedented cybercrime spree. And what it says here, that they were using the AI chatbots, using Claude in this instance, to identify, hack and extort at least 17 companies. So hackers are using this to get better at being able to compromise networks, compromise companies. Now us as defenders also need to be able to use it as well, so that we can secure the networks that we're trying to protect. And one of the first ways that I'm actually seeing it, so I'm a senior cybersecurity analyst, I'm seeing the building of virtual security assistants for cybersecurity analysts, and it's something I'm currently working on as well. So the kind of build-up of a actual security operations center and the hierarchy is starting to change. That is starting to become where you've got yourself a SOC manager, and now it's moving towards an AI team lead. And this AI team lead is going to still be managing human analysts and human engineers, but there's also going to be AI agent analysts in there as well, who are going to be taking the level 1 and level 2 decisions. And they're going to be also expected to build out these automation workflows with tools like Tines and Talk, which I'll explain further shortly more about that as well. But ultimately, I am seeing these AI kind of team lead roles, I believe, in the future will start to pop up. It's starting to happen in the company that I'm currently working for. And I know with a lot of people that I've spoken into the industry, this is where they see it going. And in terms of virtual assistants, so analysts then, so myself, I'm looking to build out an email analyzer in the company that I'm working for. So when phishing emails get reported, they can be automatically analyzed and actually take some action on that email as well. Traditionally, these kind of processes would have always been done by a human analyst. We're also looking to build out AI agents for threat intelligence as well. So gathering threat intelligence, turning that threat intelligence into actionable data to actually perform threat hunting as well. And I'm sure as the industry continues to move forward, that an AI agent and automated threat hunter will also be part of the kind of tool set that human analysts will have. So if you imagine a security operation center, all of the different processes that traditionally a human analyst would do, some of those you will be able to automate. And that's how you want to start to think now when you start to apply for these jobs. You can go into the interview and say, oh, I have experience, or I know that companies are looking to automate certain processes. This is the experience that I have. These kind of conversations will help you stand out. And it's the same in the kind of engineering department as well. They'll have different AI agents for maybe detection engineering, performing health checks, for example. And I like this little snippet here. So we're moving from automation, which is where automation executes certain workflows, so step by step, but these AI agents now are actually able to interpret and make decisions. And automation, like I said here, is a robotic process, so step by step, where AI agents are going to be more like junior analysts who can actually read, reason, and act across different scenarios. So that's a good way to think about automation, which is where we currently are, and we're moving towards the kind of AI agent world in cybersecurity. So number 2 then is actually predicting threats before they strike. So AI has the ability to process so much more information than a human analyst could do. So if you imagine one process in a security operations center, so if you imagine a SIEM, which stands for Security Information Event Management Tool, this is a tool that all cybersecurity analysts would be using. And imagine a network, the device logs from your servers, laptops, firewalls would be sent into a tool like Elastic. Elastic would have a set of correlation rules looking for malicious activity in these logs. If it detects malicious activity, it would generate an alert, which usually would have gone to an analyst. But now we're seeing that there's additional tools like D3 Security, which are kind of sitting on top or sitting next to these SIEMs. And the alert is going to be sent to the AI tool to review it. and then it'll either look to try and close it out as a false positive, or actually work through the alert and provide a decision, and then that decision then would still be reviewed by an analyst, or it would then be escalated to a level 4 analyst for review, and then the analyst would take the necessary action. So maybe these kind of lower level jobs will start to get automated, and you will start to see these tools being integrated, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be, well, I think it will be a little bit more difficult to get into cybersecurity, but I think it's just raising the bar, which I think is a good thing, because ultimately it's going to make sure that you're doing more interesting work as well. And all it really means is that you just need to be learning about these AI tools in addition to the more traditional tools that have been part of the analyst tool stack over the last few years, for example. So these actions now, so even some of these platforms, AI platforms, might even be taking actions, so actually blocking IPs, for example. But as I see at the moment, they are still very early on, but they will start to look into analyzing the alerts and then sending them to analysts for review. Number 3 then is using AI for real-time defense and automated response. So this is leaning more into the automation rather than the AI agents. But these are some of the actions that previously would have been taken by a human analyst, but are now being taken by these workflow automation tools. So Tines is a hugely popular one in the security operations center environment, and Elastic and Tines have also partnered together to create a lot of these workflows, as you can see here. So ultimately, you can see in this workflow, creating a case, send an alert message to Slack, but then you can actually see here it's actually doing an IP lookup, so trying to understand if this IP is malicious or not. It then checks, is it malicious, yes or no. It'll then block it on the firewall, and then it'll get additional information about the block. So this is where the Security Operations Center environment is going. If you're looking to be an analyst, looking to be an engineer, I highly recommend that you look at these workflows, try to understand them, try to even build your own at home, because these are the kind of things that companies are looking for these days. And if you can go into interviews and you can say, well, I can actually automate some of the response required when it comes to dealing with cyber attacks or alerts in a security operations center, this is what's going to really help you stand out. And like I said, a lot of these actions would have traditionally been taken by a human analyst, but now these AI and automation tools are being integrated. And like I said, I think it's a good thing, because it's actually going to create more opportunities for people like yourself trying to get into cybersecurity, but maybe the entry-level positions won't exist as much, but I think you'll still have the ability to go for those higher roles, because you'll have some of these higher level skills that these companies are looking for. And as we said, hackers are using AI to speed up their attacks. As cybersecurity professionals, we're going to be using AI and automation to actually speed up our defense. Number 4 then, AI agents are going to be used to strengthen security posture and compliance. So often when you're thinking about compliance, it's kind of GRC and different compliance standards. It's not an area that I'm an expert in. I don't work in GRC, but I can see that different AI agents will be integrated into different parts of GRC processes. So policy mapping, you can have an agent for that. Automated risk register assistant, for example, control effectiveness testing agent, audit readiness agent. So there'll be different agents that will be able to prepare for audits, for example, process through the newest compliance information and compliance data, and make sure that the company is prepared for the audit. A lot of this used to be done, or would normally be done, say, by a GRC analyst, but I think these GRC teams now will start to integrate these AI tools to automate, similar to a security operations center analyst, just automate different processes in the team to ultimately then filter towards making sure that the company is compliant. So the idea then is each process will have some type of automation or even AI agent integrated into it, and then from there then they'll complement the GRC analyst or even the cybersecurity analyst, whose job is to make sure that the company is compliant. So number 5 then, we always talk about the benefits of integrating automation and AI into cybersecurity, but it may reshape the industry in a positive way, but there's also going to come some negatives as well, and there's a lot of hidden risks of AI in cybersecurity. So AI can actually hallucinate, and it can actually often lie, and if the AI tool has not been trained on correct data, then it's going to display spit out incorrect information. So the traditional garbage in, garbage out, that is still here the same with AI tools, and especially these AI LLM chatbots, for example. That hallucinations could result in bad analysis. So let's say that the SEAM alert was sent to one of these AI tools to review. If it didn't have the correct information to understand how to actually analyze these alerts, then it's just going to spit out bad analysis, and it's probably going to be a waste of time of having that in place anyway. So you need to make sure that you're always reviewing the analysis that comes out and not taking it from face value. Even when I'm working, I use ChatGPT to prompt it with questions about some analysis that I might be doing, and often it will, if I don't give it enough context, at the moment it's not the best at trying to actually evaluate certain cybersecurity incidents or scenarios, for example, without a lot of information. So if you don't have the knowledge yourself, the most likely it's going to return bad analysis. And if you use that bad analysis towards an incident, for example, then you're going to be using evidence that is going to result in incorrect analysis, for example. Security leakage then. So a lot of these AI tools, they do require a lot of access. So these tools, because they require so much access, it means that hackers will be trying to target them. These tools often as well could leak data. So if they're not secured correctly, you could end up leaking data through any of the prompts or any of the outputs from any of the workflows that we've mentioned. And many of these AI tools are often third-party tools. So you need to make sure that the actual regulatory exposure, what does that cover with these third-party tools? You need to make sure that the data that you're inputting into these tools doesn't get leaked out to any of these third parties. Any of the kind of compliance standards will now start to cover these AI tools to try and prevent the data from being leaked. So you've got your things like HIPAA, GDPR. They're going to start to govern these AI tools, and companies are going to need to make sure that any data that they're inputting into this tool isn't exposed publicly, for example, or with other third parties. So of course we know that hackers are using these tools, but there's also going to be vulnerabilities that will come with these tools as well. Things like prompt injection. There's different attack vectors that come with these new tools. That's all these AI and workflow automation tools are tools. They're just new processes that are being integrated, and anytime there's a new tool, there will likely always be a vulnerability, which is why I mean there will always be opportunities, because if you can start to learn how to actually defend these particular systems, you understand how hackers are actually using them, it's going to actually put you ahead of others who don't understand this new tool set. And AI is here to stay, so we need to learn how to defend against it. These different types of vulnerabilities, a great resource to look into is the MITRE Atlas framework. What that framework shows here then is how attackers will attempt to compromise these machine learning, AI, LLM based tools, and through different steps. So all the way from reconnaissance to impact. So each step is here is what the attacker will take, and then within that step is a particular technique that they will attempt to actually be successful in that step. So as you can see here then, persistence, for example, trying to poison the training data. So an AI may try to poison the data that feeds into the AI tool. So let's say that we've got a AI analyst agent, for example. If, like I mentioned, the underlying data is incorrect, it's going to start to make incorrect decisions, and attackers will want to try to poison this data to ultimately then be able to ensure that the company, if they are making decisions based on what the AI tool is saying or the AI agent is saying, then they're likely going to run into some issues in the company. And attackers will always try to do this just to try to impact the company and to actually, like I said, here, create a persistence mechanism so they could poison the data so that it could then force the company to make decisions based on the attacker's data, which could really be really bad. We've got another hugely popular one now, which is prompt injection, where the attacker will try to craft a malicious prompt to input it into an LLM tool to be able to get it to act in ways that are not intended. And we're seeing these attacks a lot more now. Like mentioned here, it says these prompt injections are often designed to cause the model to ignore aspects of its original instructions and follow the adversary's instructions instead. So much of, like we said, the data that is contained from companies within these LLM tools. Companies will try to secure it, but then attackers will try to often maybe discover sensitive information. Maybe there could be AWS keys, secrets, for example, passwords in these tools. Hackers will try to perform prompt injection to release a lot of this sensitive information. And these attacks like prompt injection attacks, for example, they are relatively new, but they're only going to get more sophisticated, and we're starting to see that now. So ultimately then we do have to be careful of the risks associated with AI. There's going to be a lot of opportunities and there's a lot of benefits to it, but I know there's going to be companies out there that are just going to introduce these tools. They're going to want to be able to speed up company processes. They're going to want to reduce the amount of staff members that they have so that they can just focus on AI tools, but they are going to start forgetting about some of these hidden risks. And selfishly, this is where some of the opportunity comes from in cybersecurity. So if you're thinking, how can you get into cybersecurity? What areas should you focus on? You still need to focus on the fundamentals, but you should now be focusing on AI, how to protect AI tools, and how to use these AI tools to actually speed up the processes and be more efficient in a cybersecurity context. So to conclude then, you now know 5 ways that AI is reshaping and changing cybersecurity, and you've also had some tips on how you can stay ahead of the job market and those hackers as well. Now, if you want to know if AI is going to replace all of the cybersecurity jobs, I recommend that you go watch this video next. I want to say thank you for watching. I'll see you over there.